you could frame it in production and then get to where I'm almost there and have more hours to come back because, we have to add backing for the spaghetti pot filler. We got to add backing for this. And, the trimless HVAC thing needs backing.
Yep.
There's 10 different trades that need something behind the walls.
Correct.
That the production framer might not have done.
20 to 30 sub-trades per job.
$35,000 a week.
We'll be licensed 10 years next year.
You've mastered the trade. Now you need to master the business. All right. Welcome to the Build Line. This is episode 7. I'm Jerry, and this is Heather.
Hey, Jerry.
What do we got going today?
Oh, it's what the people have been asking for. I feel like the reason we started the podcast, GC and subcontractor relationships, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things that just make our life so much fun.
Yeah, those relationships that we didn't date first. We just
got married.
We just got married. Yeah,
we got married, and now we're figuring out if we like each other. Right? I mean, that's really what we're doing.
It's super true. Yeah. So this is why we created the podcast, to talk about these things. To get into a little more of our soul and our brain daily stuff. Right.
The stuff that in reality, the things we bitch about, right? The things that we actually look back and we're like, man, this guy really made my life hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's what we do every day.
The daily shit talk.
I know, right? If you want to call it that. It's what the people have been asking for, Jerry, since we started this. I think, we made it to episode 7 before we really jumped into this. So I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I'm having a good time. I like it. I'm getting good feedback now. I mean, how long has it been on air?
Man, we've been live for a couple weeks now, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks. I love it. I'm happy with it, and I think it's going to be a good thing to continue with. So
I agree. I think if
everybody smashes that button and shares it and moves it and does all the stuff that it needs to do. If you guys love it, send it to the next guy.
Yeah,
exactly. And then we'll continue.
We'll keep sharing it. I agree. All right, let's jump into it. GC sub-relationships. Why does it matter? What does that look like? What's the perfect relationship? All the tea. Give it to me.
Well, it's important. I know that, right? And go back to what we just said, getting married and dating and all that. For me, because I'm a subcontractor, I have to date everybody. Big, fat, ugly, black, white. It doesn't matter.
No monogamy for you.
No, I got to be with everybody, and I have to kind of chameleon to everybody's way of doing things, because at the end of the day, you guys are the boss. And I'm trying to make your life easier and unload the drywall portion onto my shoulders and do it in a way that you like. And it's not just the quality of the walls at the end of the day, it's everything else in between. It's the communication and all that, being there for you when you need it, because you're the one with the heavy pressure of schedule, really, not me. And so it's super important, because you want to be around people that you like, and like I said, I don't get to choose everybody that I like, so I just kind of smile and nod and accept them for who they are.
Yeah.
And, I envy yours, where you guys can kind of just pick people.
Yes.
You do 15 jobs. I do 300 a year.
Yeah.
So I can't discriminate against anybody. I got to keep the train rolling. So that's the hardest part of my deal with the relationship, is like, I don't really like this guy, but he's got a good amount of work and he's generally okay and pays his bills. Yeah. That's how I have to accept it in my brain.
Yeah. You're going with I have to be okay with this, and this is not my favorite, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to do my same quality of work and my same standards, and I'm going to deliver for this guy as much as I'm going to deliver for TCI and all those things. Yeah. Yeah. I think for us, it's, you make a good point, right? We get to pick our team, which is great. That's cool, right? I don't know if other GCs think about it that way sometimes. I think other general contractors sometimes look at it as, well, you're the lowest guy. I got 2 plumbers. I got 2 drywall guys. I got 2 electricians. I got to get my number down. I'm just going to go with the low guy, right? No different than a homeowner choosing us over another GC to do their project, right? Yeah. But I think the thing that doesn't come across with that sometimes is, what does that mean for what you're signing yourself up for, right? What is that marriage going to look like?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a good thing? Is this going to be this guy's now a pain and doesn't communicate well, and oh, his scope isn't great, and he didn't actually have everything that's included in the drawings, and now I've got to go fight for a change order, right? Is he really going to make my life better and make my job harder, right? And that's what it looks like.
Well, you're a logical person, and you're trying to work with more logical people. And so if you take a general contractor, that he's not that logical. That's the problem, is not all of you guys are not on the same level. So a lot of the guys are like, well, he's cheaper, so we'll just get this. And they don't worry about the relationship. They're so comfortable living in a state of disarray.
Yeah.
They're fine with fighting through the whole entire project. It's normal to them.
Yeah. Just get up and fight.
Yeah.
We're going to get up and fight. We're going to fight about it. We're going to fight about money. We're going to fight about the schedule anyway. So I'm just going to use this guy, and I really don't care if he's going to make this harder.
They don't even see the logic on how they could build that team. And to be honest, we've talked about it before. Some of these guys aren't good enough to hire the A team. Not financial. They're not good enough to sell to the homeowner to be able to hire the A team.
Yeah.
Homeowner goes, I got $150,000 for this bathroom. They go, yep, no problem.
Yeah.
They're just yes men. Most general contractors are glorified project managers. They're not really running a whole team and thinking about all this stuff.
Yeah, thinking about the quality. Is that guy going to be here? Is he going to do good work, right? Am I going to get a call back because something's leaking, or there's a problem, or the light's flickering, right? It's like
most people, they're just like, it's fine. It's fine. He'll do fine. It'll be fine. That's like they've
mediocre.
Accepted that as a part of their life. They're the contractor that it's fine.
Yeah.
And I have to work. Honestly, there's more of them than there is you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to, treat those guys just as good as anybody else, because it's just easier to treat everybody and bid everything the same than try to have some sort of like master way of doing, this Tankersley, they're this way, so they get this much money, or this guy is a small. It's just I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So, and then a lot of people think that too. And that's a whole thing. And for us, like literally on the way here, I had a text message going with somebody, and I asked, how did the prices come out on job ABC? They said, I don't know if the homeowner's going to go for it. And by the way, your bid was significantly higher than the other drywall bid I had. And I said, that's part of our trade, is everybody has a different opinion on how to get to the end the right way.
Yeah.
It's not like you screw in a light bulb and the light bulb's screwed in. I've got a different setup and a different way to get there at the end and look a certain way. And this guy, has his own way.
Yeah.
So he bids that way properly. I mean, we go down that rabbit hole all day. But I have to stick to my guns, whether you're a big general or a small one or a good one or a bad one, and just do the right thing.
Yeah. And I think the big picture that we try to keep in mind, and where I think the industry as a whole needs to go, and at some point I hope people buy into this more, but it really is about the relationship between the GC and the sub, right? We keep joking about it's a marriage, it's everything else. It needs to be a healthy one. So it needs to be the point of, let's keep working together. What went good? Let's get the feedback, right? Hey, what did we do good? What did we not do so good, right?
Yeah.
From both sides. And because that's the only way you're going to improve. It's the only way we're going to improve on scheduling, so that you're more profitable, we're more profitable, we meet the schedule, we meet the client's expectations, and really building that together, no different than you would a marriage or any other kind of relationship, right? And if you're just looking for the one-off, right, like, we keep doing all these marriage references, you're only on the one-night stand of subcontractors, right? Oh, done with them, moving on, right? Like, how does that help anybody? It doesn't. No. It just makes you're just setting yourself up to basically have this Groundhog's Day of just repeat of bad performance, bad product,
You and I are in this together against the world.
Yeah.
And I just told an employee of mine, because I had a meeting and he didn't like the way that I said something. And I was like, I don't like the way that you say stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But look, honestly, you're not going to do any, I don't see anything weird happening to where I'm going to fire you or you're going to quit. We're in this together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. It's us against the world, whether it's Heather and Jerry or this employee and you and me. Like, so we need to make these relationships work to our advantage,
I mean, if you're smart and you're a smart business person, right? If you're not and you're just chasing one paycheck or one invoice to the next invoice because you just need to make payroll and you're not thinking about the big picture, then no, that mentality's gone and it's out the door, and you don't care what bridge you burn to get there.
Yeah.
And that's what we see a lot. You know, we get people all the time reach out. We want to work with you guys, want to do this. It's a very high bar to work as a subcontractor for us for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is because I have to be accountable for you. You are on my site. My name's on the front. My sign's out front. My license is on the permit. Right. So I'm not only responsible for the drywall trade, I'm responsible for the electrical, the cabinet maker, the painter, the landscaper, the fencing guy, everybody who sets foot on that job. So I'm going to hold everybody to the same standard, right?
Yep.
And so for us, we've established a long time ago, and right, wrong, or indifferent, we've had people that have said, we don't want to work with you anymore. And that's fine. If you don't want to work with us, then that's fine. Because my standard's high. And you know what? I only want the A players.
Yeah.
Right? And that might not make me any friends. We have somebody on site right now that he worked for somebody at the time. He was adamant. He was telling another sub-trade that was on site. He was loading material. And, I've worked for them before. I'm like, I have no idea who you are. You have never worked for me. I have no idea who you are. So I finally go out to the site and I see this guy. I introduce myself. And he's working for another sub-trade. And he's working on some stuff. And he goes, I worked for ABC. And he goes, I used to work for him. I went out on my own 5 years ago. Huh. I was like, oh, I do know you. Please don't actually, anything that guy said about me personally, because he didn't like me.
Yeah.
Anything he said about me, why don't you just go ahead and erase, and then we'll just start fresh right now. Right? Because I knew he already had a tainted piece, but now that he's got his own business, he's looking at it going, okay, maybe that guy was out of line.
Right. 100%.
So how do you feel about a sub-trade agreement? We have a sub-trade agreement that we have all of our subcontractors sign and review before they come on site. What are your thoughts on that?
I want to answer that, but let me go back to what you just said. A players.
Yeah.
As a sub, and it's hard. It's hard to become an A player.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to work hard on the relationship, then you're never going to be an A player.
Correct.
So you're never going to get to that bar, the Tankersley bar, unless you work hard.
Yeah.
So when they go, it's too hard. Well, it's too hard for you. I'm an A player.
Yeah.
You want to be one, level up.
Yep.
And I said that on one of my own reels is if when you level up as a general contractor, you need to level up your subs because we're part of that team.
Correct.
And that's true. It's super true. But it's hard to be an A player.
It's very hard.
So it's not easy. If you want to just be mediocre, that's easy because that's what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it different. Okay, well, what was the question again?
Sub-trade agreements. How do you feel about sub-trade agreements and a general contractor requiring a sub-trade agreement?
You guys put all this thought and energy into these things, and they're like, you need to sign this.
You're like, okay, give away my firstborn child.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll sign it. For me, I don't care. I'll sign whatever you want. I'm doing the right thing, so
you're not worried about
I'm not worried about whatever is in this paperwork.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if there's a problem, we're all going to go to some sort of mitigation or attorney or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, here you go.
I'll follow the rules. I'm fine with following the rules.
Yeah,
sure. Tell me what they are.
I got to drive 65. Okay. What else you got?
Yeah.
I can't buy McDonald's lunch after 10 or before 10:30.
No.
Okay. That
just
too.
Don't leave it on the client's countertop. Okay. I mean, that's it, right?
Just
don't eat on site, right? Don't smoke in my client's backyard. Right? Don't fish off their dock.
Yeah.
It's basic. It's basic rules.
Basic human nature is all we're asking for. And that goes on to what I wrote something down to add to this was on-site appearance.
Yeah.
We are a direct reflection of you guys. Mm-hmm. So while we're there, we need to act like that. There we go. A player. Act like it, look like it, and talk like it. And a lot of these subcontractors need to train their teams to do those things.
Yes.
They don't want to because it's a hard thing to do.
Or they just don't want to have that hard conversation. We've been told that. We've been told that based off of our sub-trade agreement. I am not going to make my guys abide by this. I am not going to tell them that they cannot smoke on site. I am not going to tell them that they cannot eat their lunch in the client's kitchen.
Yeah. I remember your first subcontract agreement, and one of them was you wanted us to not wear shorts.
Yeah.
And I said no.
Yeah. We've gotten linear on the shorts. Whatever. You want to wear shorts, wear shorts. Can't wear flip-flops, all right? I mean, like, come on. Let's,
no, But,
Yeah.
you have to have a standard for your business, and this is what you wanted. And if you want to work here, this is our rules. No different than if we hired on a regular payroll check.
Yeah.
So I agree with it. Whatever you want, you want. Your name's on the check. And if I don't want to agree with it, I don't have to work here.
Totally. And that's where we've had to go. And that's a hard line. That's a hard line when you're starting your business. And, it basically saying, like, this is what we're going to do. And if you're not going to do it, it's like disciplining your children. I feel like sometimes it's like having a conversation with my sons. It's like, no, we're not doing that. This is what it's going to be. And if you want to dig your heels in and you don't want to do it, then okay, don't. Then don't be a part of the circus. Get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember leaving there going, did I just have a conversation about shorts?
Wait, what? What did I just commit to? Damn it.
And so we went to breakfast like that week, and I had brought it to everybody's attention. I go, we can't wear shorts anymore. And I wear shorts all summer.
Yeah.
They know when they see Jerry in a pair of shorts, it's time to switch.
Yeah.
And so it's all good. But the hills that we choose to die on are wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot of petty things. But once you get back in your truck, you gotta get out of that petty realm and think about the whole big picture.
It's the big picture. It's the big picture of all the other people that have to do it. Because I think sometimes it gets lost when you have your only piece of the pie and not looking at all the pieces of the pie that have to go together.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that sometimes for me is what gets very frustrating as a general contractor, because I might be having this discussion with you, but now I got to go have it with the 30 other subs that are going to be on this site that are also going to, have to abide by the same thing and the same rules. And I might come at you hot because you guys left a mess, but I'm upset about it because I just picked up all the trash from the framer last week, and I walked around and I found his 5 coffees from McDonald's that he left on site. And I'm like, oh my God, you get one every day. I can tell I found all 5, right? And I've thrown all 5 of them away from you. Yeah. Okay? I don't want to do it again. Clean up your mess, right? Like, that is infuriating. So I might come hot at you about it, right? And you're like, oh my God, we got it. We're cleaning it up, right?
Yeah.
And it's not personal, right? It's back to petty stuff. But when those things just accumulate, and it adds to that frustration that you get across the board.
Yep. The male ego for us when we're getting told something is a big thing, and nobody likes that, That's
such a fine line. That's such a fine line too. I mean, you and I have had this conversation because I always try, and you and I have talked about this. I always try to come at it of, I don't do your job. I'm not the drywaller. I'm not the cabinet installer. I'm not the electrician, right? But if I'm looking at something and I look at projects all day and I'm out on site all day, if I look at it sideways and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look that good.
There's a problem.
Right? There's probably something, right? And so it's like, I'm not going to come at you hot and be like, Jerry, this is completely garbage. What is this, right? But I'm going to ask, like, hey, can you put eyes on this? You're the expert. I hired you as the expert to do this work. I don't know if this is quite right. Yeah. Can you come look at it? Because I want your expertise. And if you're like, hey, that's the best we can do because of the situation, the circumstance, whatever, then okay, this is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. But most of the time, if we come at it that way,
it's fine. But how embarrassing for me, like if you call me for that and I don't know what you're talking about, I've been embarrassed in that. Like I should know before you know.
If you're doing your job.
If I'm doing my job. So whenever I get those calls, I go, oh man. And then I'm pushed down a few notches there and I got to go out there and see what it is. And I can't say anything to you because it's wrong. You're not in my trade and you found it. And it's like, but most people don't. They come out there and defend it right away. What are you talking about? I had my guy or this or that.
They get their ego involved. Yeah. And then it gets into a competition of the ego of, well, that's not wrong. And again, back to that hill that you want to die on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's magically fixed. And then it was like, well, look, it's just a little bit better. And you're like, oh, really? Yeah. Why did that magically get fixed?
Could have been done better.
Right? I think that's true. So I think that we talked about this. I think that we should this is unrehearsed. I do not know Jerry's answers. Jerry does not know mine. I want to hear, as a subcontractor, the top 3 things that we as general contractors do that just frustrate the heck out of you guys. And I think this is going to be great. And then I want to give you my 3 things that subs do that
I don't want to hear it.
bother me. You're like, and we can end the episode there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I gave none. I got 3. And by the way, about 30 minutes ago, came up with these.
That means they're hot. That means that like they're just burning in your soul if you were able to come up.
I tried to keep them not trade specific.
Oh, yeah.
So this should be good for everybody here.
This isn't complaining against one specific sub trade, or this is just like
all the rest of the subs they can't say, oh, it's a drywall guy's thing.
Yeah. Okay.
These are good ones. So we're going to go one at a time, and then you're going to defend it or answer it.
Ooh, yes.
Is that it?
I love that. Yes, let's do it.
Optimistic estimating.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. We'll go and you'll go, we'll do a job walk and you'll go, well, we're only going to do this and we're only going to do that. And, I had $4,000 budgeted.
For you.
For me.
Yeah.
You're not anything. You've never hung more than 5 sheets of drywall or whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
So that really pisses me off when you try to tell me how to estimate my job and you haven't even done anything like that. And sometimes people are close. Steve Tankersley gets pretty dang close on normal stuff. And there's some guys that really do. But there's a lot I can feel when the optimistic I can feel the pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like the numbers are the numbers. Math is math here.
Yeah.
And that starts to really eat at me, especially if we've had a relationship for a long time. Like, what do you think? I'm in here changing the world on you?
Yeah.
Like, here we go with that relationship.
Yeah. Know? Or back to that, right? I think from education, I think Steve's gotten really good at that because it's like, hey, if we've got X amount, we've got, you need to account for this many square feet, at X dollar. And taking that feedback and doing it and not just, doing a wag, right? Wild ass guess of what it is. And also knowing, like, working with you for a while, right? Yeah. Knowing, like, hey, Jerry's not, if we've got to take out this section of the wall, he's not going to want it to just take out a portion of it. Or if we've got to move these 5 things and now it looks like Swiss cheese, we already know. Factor that whole wall is going to be new because that's what Jerry's going to want. Back to that relationship, right? I could see that. That's a hard part.
And the way that it's said and brought to me is different, too. It's like, hey, when I did my rough estimate with the clients, I had, $50,000 in here with everything that you've seen. Do you think this is going to work out or do I need to adjust that?
Yeah.
And that's the conversation, but it's generally not that. It's I had 50 grand in here. Can you do it?
Yeah. Yeah. That pressure to bring your price down or back painting you into a corner.
And then I look like the dickhead if I say no.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I can't. It's going to be 55.
Or you came in way more.
Yeah.
You're so much more than the other guy.
Yeah, well, I'm way more. Or this is the one word that I like, too. I'm too expensive. Mm-hmm. For who?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
Or they'll say I'm too expensive. And I go, well, do you think Tankersley, Bradley Builders, Landmark, they're all idiots then? Or maybe you're off.
Yeah.
Do you think the other 25 guys I work for that are 3 times the size of you know something?
Yeah.
Or is it me? Like this, but I can't say that.
Yeah, but that's what you really want to say.
The relationship again. Yes. Then I go, oh, well, let me,
sharpen
my pencil again.
Yep.
I used a pen, so go screw yourself.
I love that. I love that.
But like that becomes weird because, again, this is supposed to be a relationship long term, and we're supposed to build trust. But in reality, it's every job is a new one.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
And
you're having to prove yourself.
Having to prove myself every time. I tell my guys that you every job's new. Just because we've been here for 10 years or whatever doesn't mean we're going to be here another 10. We could screw up very quickly. And so I look at things a lot differently in the budget end. I mean, I don't see how much money I can get for the job. I try to figure out how I can do the right thing the cheapest. Mm-hmm. Because I know that's really at the end of the day what we're supposed to be doing. We're trying to figure out, make all of our margins and everything and do all that, but the cheapest.
Yep.
And that seems to work out when you estimate that way instead of, blah, blah, blah. And, they're a big timer, so throw an extra, 10 grand on it.
Yeah.
That's bad business.
I agree. What else you got?
Okay. Kind of draws into that is a weak job walk.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
that is, everybody thinks they're doing it right. And I'll shout out to Bradley Builders, JT Bradley. He does, hands down, the best pre-construction job walk I've ever been on in my life, ever. And he knows how to reconstruct it, deconstruct it so we can reconstruct it.
Mm-hmm.
He takes control of the team that's there. There's 6-8 subs there.
Yeah.
Takes control of them. The plans are got probably 6 hours worth of markup in them already.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's marking them up. We've went over the written scope. We went over exactly what the plans say. We look at every sub is there getting involved in it.
Yeah.
And he takes control of the men instead of just, here's a piece of paper, walk around, come back to me with your questions.
Yeah.
And so I've never left a job walk of his not knowing the clear scope. And when I show up in 6 months, it's the same.
Yeah.
And I can give you a real price based upon what he said versus most other ones. I've got to go, well, the reality is when I get here, there's going to be this much stuff. But you, the general, are optimistically estimating, no, we're not going to tear this wall down.
Yeah.
So, and I think, that's why he still runs those jobs walks, because he knows how it's going to go, how they've all went, and exactly how it is tore down and reconstructed. And when you have a weak job walk, then you come back to me going, I was too expensive. That's a problem.
Yeah. Or there's scope miss, or there's things that don't get accounted for. There's something you see, but then, maybe the person running gets distracted if they've got 4 other people they're answering questions for. And so it just ends up kind of being a zoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, I need to be there to hear what the electrician says.
Yep.
Where's the panel at? Oh, it's on that side of the house. He's got to pull power. I need to talk to him.
Yep.
Painter needs to talk to me.
Yep.
These conversations need to be had, and you need a leader there that's strong enough to corral 6
Wrangle
other
the
business
cats.
owners
Yep.
and make sure that they know exactly what's going on. Before we leave, if we don't have the answers, they need to be written out or emailed to somebody before we do that. And it's, you guys will give these weak job walks and then expect some good price. And it's like, well, I'm not going to give you the best price of a job that we're maybe going to do in a year from now when you didn't know nothing. And I could tell you were under the pressure of, oh, we're only going to do this and this. And no, we're staying out of that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. You're putting can lights there. You're not going to go in here.
Yeah.
You know?
And not fully developing the scope or thinking about it. How is this going to affect every single trade, right? To your point, like, okay, well, you're not going to put, you're just putting can lights in. Well, are you sure there's not going to be a ceiling patch? Like, you sure you're not going to have to repair some drywall? You really think that outlet's going to cover all that? Like, just those little things. It's like us as GCs, if we're diving in and doing the due diligence during pre-construction to review those things, looking at all that constructability, looking at all those details, right? Like, okay, well, it's just this bathroom and we're just putting new tile in and everything else. Well, what about accessories, right? They're going to need backing. So now we're cutting out the wall. Like, really thinking about it and asking that question to your point of when you show up and it's like, yes, we need to factor in that's going to need new drywall here. We're going to have repairs here. We're going to have to patch the wall over here. Like, those things, to your point, do need to be vetted. And that's the only way you can really get that number, like you're saying, with the pen actually right. Yeah.
I mean, you guys need to do more work of having whoever's running that job walk know exactly what's going on.
For sure.
Because that's what we're there to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm telling you, he's got a full set of plans with 15 different, those little color tab things. And there's written and there's highlighters all over the stuff. And there's questions for us. Like whoever was in his estimator, whoever was in the office says, have the stucco guy look at this transition over here.
Yeah.
There's no just wandering around.
Yeah.
If you guys want the best prices, you better that's where you need to come to.
Yeah.
Because if we're all $5,000 higher between 25 of us, I can't do that math.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a domino effect, right? And so everybody's going to plan for the worst so that they don't lose their ass on the job.
And in reality, not all of us subs are that smart. There's some guys that you look at, they don't know how to look at a set of plans for their own trade.
Yeah.
They don't know. They're like, they need to go out and physically go. And I walk with these guys, and there's a window, or you have to dumb it down. You have to know your audience and go, okay, this guy's really good at his trade, but he has a real hard time figuring out scope. And so you have to go, hey, James, we're going to remove these windows and you need to tie back in that stucco.
Yeah.
And then painter, you need to paint from corner to corner. Because if not, they're going to come up with things and ideas. And that's, I see, ends up in your ballpark 8 months down the road. Well, you said $8,000 for this. And they go, well, I didn't see it on the plans.
Yeah.
It's on the plans, but they have no idea what the hell they're looking at.
Yeah. Or we talked about this on site during the job walk, but then it actually doesn't get it in the written scope. It doesn't actually end up in the PO. It doesn't actually end up, and then it ends up a production problem, you know, a year, to your point, 8 months later. And it's like, well, I talked about that with so-and-so. And it's like, yeah, but it's not written down, right? And nobody did that. Yeah.
If it's not written down, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Golden rule should be on everything. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So you need to, so when you guys send those, because most people do that are real businesses, they send an email saying, hey, we're going to finalize. You need to make sure everything's written down, you know?
Yep.
But again, it's like that error of like, you've got 30 different subs and they might not all be the smartest. And I'm not saying that as an insult, but like they've been working their whole lives. They've got 50 hours on a job. They're not looking at the plans. They haven't learned that. And these are skills. So, you know, there's a lot that goes on and a lot of slippage here and there. Yeah. And
it's homework. You have to come prepared if you want to ask for the right answer. If you want to ask, give me this, right? You need all the backup to it. This is everything. This is every drawing, this is every detail. This is all the pieces that we need to do. No, we're not doing returns of drywall into the windows. We're casing all of these windows. These get, skirting. I mean, we've had that problem ourselves, right? Where it's like, oh shoot, we completely missed that. That has no apron. Hey Jerry, you got to come back. We need you to float up to the bottom of the windows. And again, it's doing the homework and asking the question in pre-con of the design team, of the architect. What are we doing at the windows? We have casing, right? Like, why aren't we asking that question now, right? And not a production problem once we've installed all the drywall and we've done all the texture. That never happens, ever.
Right.
What's your gripe number 3?
Oh, man. Okay, here's an on-site one. This one really pisses me off.
Ooh, I like this. Here we go.
And this is where I have to. Not only does my relationship with the owner or the project manager have to run well, my relationship with the guys working for you have to, because they have your ear 50 hours a day. I don't. Mm-hmm. So somebody on a general contractor's team, could be the owner, could be a project manager, could be the head foreman or job site, so whatever you want to call him. He'll ask, hey, Jerry, you want to swing by 123 Main Street and make sure we're ready for you? Mm-hmm. I would like to see what you need for drywall. Yeah. I'm not a framer. How many jobs have you done in business? How many jobs has this guy done his whole life? How many kitchens has he got ready for drywall? And he's still asking me to come down there and tell him he needs backing, you need to fur that wall out. Why should I be doing it? First off, he doesn't work for me. Yeah. So now I have to talk to him a little bit differently and kind of do that. Yep. And I don't know what time he's got into this. I don't know anything. He doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. Short of his name, I should never talk to the guy. And it's like, why am I driving across town to walk this job to tell you need to put backing in the corner to get it ready for drywall? Or you need to put a straight edge on this wall where there's going to be 10 feet of tile and cabinets, or the ceiling where the cabinets are going to the ceiling and it's wavy as all hell. I don't even own a level. Okay,
you're like, I could just see this.
Yeah, if it's not at the drywall store, you go to Home Depot and look in the drywall department. Yeah. If the tool is there, I'll own that trade. None of that stuff's there. Yeah. I don't have lasers. You know, that in a commercial world they use lasers, but in our residential world, we're not using any of that. So don't expect me to come there. And so then what happens is you guys go, can you help us get it? Tell me what's. Then if I don't say the right thing, it's my fault. Yeah. Now I've taken responsibility for framing issues. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why should I be even? No, you didn't ask me on job walk, Jerry, put in about 4 hours to come over here and fix framing. Yeah. You didn't say that. You said, give me the best price because I'll have it all ready for you. Yeah. Because I know what I'm doing because I've been in this trade for 35 years, right? Yeah. I have a seasoned carpenter. So that one really pisses me off.
Yeah, because if you aren't the due diligence of making sure that is ready for you is being put back on you. And the problem with that, though, and I think this is where the domino effect of what we do comes in, if you don't, let's say you don't come out there, let's say you don't point it out, you don't point out the love, you don't point out that there's a hump in the wall, right?
Yeah.
If you don't do that, what's going to ultimately happen is you're going to hang rock, you're going to mud it, you're going to tape it, you're going to go across. They're going to put paint on the wall, and then they're going to go, Jerry, you did shit work. Like, look at the wall. It's got a giant hump in it. And you're like, well, I didn't frame the wall, right? But it makes your work not look the best that it could be. And then you end up looking like the bad guy.
And I'm the only guy with the talent at the end of the day. Nobody's going to tear the sheetrock out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the baseboard and the floor is in, and this is going on. Oh, we got the schedule.
Yeah.
Then I go, hey, tear this sucker apart and
fix it.
And fix it.
Yeah.
No, not going to do that.
Oh,
so then I'm over there floating walls and mud and putting all this stuff, trying to make people happy on my dime because guess whose fault it was?
Yep.
Mine.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I had a house crack. And house crack, as you know, right? You've done enough construction that you build some brand new thing, and a year from now they twist up. Something happens.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Could be under the earth, could be the wood, could be whatever.
Yep.
I had a house just recently do that, as they do.
Yeah.
And this particular project manager doesn't have enough construction experience to know that this is part of life. You built a house on a hill an hour out of town up in the sky.
Yeah. Moisture,
the whole thing. And it's like he's putting it on me. I go, only reason I'm here right now is because I have the talent to make this look good.
Yeah.
If it was a faucet that was leaking, you'd fix it. You wouldn't call the plumber. You'd just fix it, right? So why are you acting like this is my fault?
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of this going on, you know, that's not my fault that we have to repair and fix and be involved in because we actually have the physical talent to make it look good.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, I think what's your advice for somebody who's starting out? Because I can tell you everything that you described on gripe number 3, you and I have talked about. We've had those challenges. We've had those challenges.
Yeah, the first time I ever got mad at you was on one of those jobs.
This is exactly what it was. And I said, Jerry, great. I said, you know what? Because I don't know that. So tell me what to look for, right? Because I was fully transparent with you. I was like, tell me that. You know what? Hey, we're in the wrong. Tell me, right? Yeah. And so then it was like, look for this, look for this, right? And then I also went out and strategically hired somebody who could look at that better than the team I had, right? Yeah. So if somebody's starting out, how do you recommend they do that? Is it hire better? Is it have somebody else better to look at those items before you come out? What would you recommend if there's a new GC that's starting?
A new general that's starting. Yeah. And I mean, you're generally responsible for the whole entire project and everything that happens. So own it.
Yep.
After I leave, you're responsible for the drywall. So when you get there, and this is another one, they go with the framing. It's existing framing. Mm-hmm. This is do you think that people just spent $300,000 on here? They're going to buy that?
Yeah.
Just spend 3 hours and fix the walls.
And fix it and make sure it's fun. And hold whomever is fixing that accountable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so optimistic as they don't put in hours for stuff. You know, there we go back to business stuff and things like that. And you know, the public or other generals want to know how they must be expensive or why were they 20% more? Because they have enough experience and smarts to know to add in the hours for this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
The money's not going in their pocket. The money's going into the people to make sure this project ends up in the right position at the end of the year.
Yeah, and to QC that and actually look at it before that and before we close the walls. And, you know, we have a whole checklist that we do. It's before we've developed in our own process. Now, we used to have a QC we used to call it a pre-drywall QC. Yeah. And we would QC everything, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, everything, right? Yeah. But what we found actually is that we were then having to go back and fix like framing issues or things like that after all the subtrades were in. So we changed our process altogether. Now we have a framing QC. So before even any of the subtrades are going and putting anything in the walls, we're checking all the framing. ROs are right, those kind of things. Walls are, plumb, square. We have a whole checklist now that we broke out and we've put in time ahead of that.
Money.
So that money, right? And time to do that ahead of everybody else coming in. So to your point, it's not a scramble of, hey, Jerry, I need you to hang rocks starting Monday and we're not ready and we're shimming walls and, can you make that look better? And, we're building in the time to do that because we know now, we've done this long enough, there's going to be things. There's going to be problems. There's going to be stuff. So we need to just plant 2 guys there for a day to just run around and check all that stuff so that nobody has to do it later.
There should be, I'd like to know really what the cost is of something like a whole house to where you're go between each trade, right? That's what it is. You
Mm-hmm.
go between the plumber you make sure the plumber did what you're paying him for, and
Yeah.
then you kind of do some pickup work on that
Mm-hmm.
on a 8-month job. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You know,
Yes.
that's one of the differences
For sure.
that make good builders and bad builders.
Yeah. On a whole house, it will take, if we have a whole house, whether ground up or let's say we just did a major remodel and we're having to reframe everything and everything's coming in new, it will take my team about 2 to 3 hours per room to QC.
Wow.
2 to 3 hours. And what I've found for us is that we will start that process 3 weeks before we're getting ready to close walls, because you almost get like a mental fatigue. We can't do more than 2 rooms because most of the time our jobs are so complicated and there's so many little details and things that we need to make sure we account for that it's by the time you get to the 3rd room, your brain is just mush, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I've been at this for 6 hours. I can't look at this again. I got to come back another day. And so we have to break that up, and we've been backing into that more and just learning that so that we don't just get to the end and we're like, whatever, fuck it, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Like, close the walls. We'll deal with it later, because that's what ultimately happens, right?
Yep.
To do it right, we have to build in that time.
Yep.
So, take with what you want, right? A kitchen will take us 6 hours if it's a detailed, actual, very complicated build.
Yeah, you could frame it in production and then get to where I'm almost there and have more hours to come back because, we have to add backing for the spaghetti pot filler.
Mm-hmm.
We got to add backing for this, and the trimless HVAC thing needs backing.
Yep.
There's 10 different trades that need something behind the walls.
Correct.
That the production framer might not have done.
Correct. And we've got to pick that up. And, my guys are out there, throwing and blocking and backing, and we're checking that it's in the right spot and it's the right elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the right size.
And this
and it's going to fit.
Italian marble has to be flat on the wall, so we better make sure that wall
it's going to sit
perfect.
Flush. Yep, with the paneling, all that, right? It's such it's a complicated piece, right? And if you're doing it right, you're factoring the time in to do that, and you're not then hopefully rushing it at the end.
100% right.
It's true.
Yep.
You ready for my gripes?
No, but you can go ahead. You can go ahead anyway.
Oh, we're doing it anyway. That's fine. That's fine.
Let's hear it.
Oh man. All right. They're all overlapping themes, so this isn't going to be anything different than what I feel like we've already touched on. But okay, my number one. I already brought this up earlier. Cleaning. Cleaning is my number one gripe of subs, because there's this notion that if I have a lead on site, or I have any one of my carpenters that are on site, or even my PMs for that matter, there's just this notion of like, I just don't need to clean up. I can just leave my garbage. Somebody else will take care of it. There's this magic fairy, right?
Yeah.
That just comes in, and it's fine that I just left my trash here from lunch. I cannot stand not cleaning up after yourself. Or this notion of, you know what, I got 5 days to do that. I'm going to stockpile all my trash. I'm going to make this giant mess, and by day 5, I'll clean it up. Why? Why are we doing that? And so it drives me insane. Like, people will see when I come on site, I am like, I'm picking up water bottles. I'm picking up trash. There's not a site. If there's not a dumpster on site at a job, there is not a site you will not see me leave without a trash bag. I will personally empty the trash bags. I will refill them, and I will put them in the back of my truck, because I cannot stand for a job site to be messy like that. I think it is a poor reflection on us as a general contractor. I think it makes it look sloppy, and it looks like we don't care. It genuinely does. I think it comes across as, you know what? Thank you for giving me your largest asset. Thank you for giving me this work, but now I'm going to throw a house party, and I'm going to trash it. And it's like, why? Why are we doing that? Right? Be better. We can all be better.
We can all be better.
So that is my number one gripe. And then I feel like as a GC, sometimes we're just like Mary Maids. Like we just take care of all that. No, you guys will just clean that up.
Well, who do you think's responsible for bringing the dumpsters on? I mean, I guess the whole house remodel, I guess those are trash, but like the smaller ones end up, I guess you get to, it seems like there's more trash on a kitchen remodel than there is. I mean,
for sure.
So, I mean, everybody generally is responsible for their own cleanliness.
That's the subtrade agreement.
That we're supposed to reinforce with our guys in the field.
Correct.
You're 100% right. I guess I've got nothing to rebuttal on that. You're right. We're pigs, and we shouldn't be, and these are people's homes, not jobs.
And I think that's where people lose sight of that, right? They
Yes.
they
This is
lose
somebody's
sight
home.
of that. Yeah, this is somebody's home, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to see you laying in the grass eating lunch, you know? Like, I think that's, to me, I feel like that is disrespectful. That's still their house, you know?
Where would they eat lunch?
In their truck.
In the truck.
Go to the Tuckeria down the street. I don't know.
Hmm.
Somewhere else, right?
Yeah. I don't
So.
know. Okay.
I have a thing for that.
We'll
That
agree
bothers
to
me.
disagree with the lawn.
That's fine with me. Driveway.
But it's your job, so I won't eat in the lawn if you don't want, because I signed the subcontractor agreement.
I mean, it doesn't say anything about not eating.
Nice
on.
sunny day, we're out there,
I know,
you
just
know, having
hanging
lunch.
out in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden there's trash in the grass, and I'm picking that up too.
Yeah.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
You're 100% right. It's definitely a problem, and we should all be better about it. And the psychology that goes in, whatever happens when we get to the job site and we become these animals, I don't know. I don't understand it, you know?
Well, and I think it's funny because it'll be, Tyler might be on site and picking up trash, right? And nobody might pay it any attention. But I can tell you, if I'm on site and people see myself or they see Janae picking up trash, there is some hot stepping. All of a sudden, everybody's cleaning, and they're cleaning very fast. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, shit. Heather's picking up trash. We should probably go pick up some trash. And it's not out of just like I don't have to say it. It's just
Well, they know it's wrong all of a
they
sudden.
see it. All of a sudden, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well, maybe we should clean
Yeah.
this up a little bit, right? And then everybody's great and everybody helps me and they, haul and put trash in my truck and I take it back to the shop and I dump it, or I dump it at the next dumpster I'm going to at the next job
Yeah.
site. And that's fine, right? And it's our job as the GC, to your point, if we don't have a dumpster there, it's our job to get it off hauled, or if we've already arranged, hey, you're going to take your trash, or hey, you know what? Like, you guys might take the trash, but hey, I'm heading to the shop right now. Just give me your bags. I'll take care of this one, right? And that's fine. And it makes us all look better and it makes us look good, right? We're not stacking in the client's garage or the side yard or anything else like that. But that's my number one gripe, is just clean up after yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
we're the
just do it.
messiest trade inside that there probably is, and I deal with that a lot. Messy. Yeah, you got to be clean,
It's hard.
even when it's hard.
I think my second gripe is, and you touched on it from your side of what you're inheriting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're getting. My piece is the no internal QC that subs have. And I find it frustrating when a sub's like, okay, I'm going to be done Friday. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm done Friday, but there's no accountability to the quality that you produced and looking at it, right? You just say, hey, I'm done, and you take off.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we as the GCs are back there and we're going, well, you missed this. That doesn't look so good. And hey, there's a problem over here. I think there's a ding. Like, there's
And then they get pissed off that you called them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is frustrating to me, because there needs to be an accountability aspect for what you're doing. Take pride and ownership in the product that you're producing, and don't wait on my team to QC what you did. Don't wait on my team to make sure that all the shelves are installed in the cabinets. Don't wait on my team to make sure that all the grouts,
Right.
installed, behind the door frames and at the bottom of the baseboard and all that kind of stuff. Like, that takes time for my team to do that. And we do. But when we're putting together a punch list and having you come back and there's 40 things on it, that kind of sounds like a you problem.
Sounds like a you problem.
And that frustrates me. That makes me so
Well,
hot.
What I think goes on, not an excuse for these guys, but if you look, most sub-trades don't have a project manager.
Yeah.
It's the owner and a bunch of people that work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really not a delegation of who's responsible for this stuff if the owner's not there.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of owners of these subcontractors on the jobs doing that.
Yeah.
I see they call Steven or whoever the guy is and go, hey, go over there and check that. But he's also doing something over there on the other side of the house that you told him he has to get done today.
Yeah.
So his job is not quality control.
Yeah.
And if you want to be an A player and be on the A player team, you yourself as a subcontractor owner need to get out there a couple days before, not the last day.
No.
Because if you have any brains, a couple days before you can see the writing on the wall that you need to either fix some things or man up and get stuff done, or make some phone calls and say, hey, we're not going to be done Thursday. It's going to be Friday.
Yeah.
And they don't do that. I know they don't, because I see it and I hear all the riffraff and things.
Chatter.
But yeah, Or they need to go, okay, well, I want to be an A player, so I need to have all the tools that A players have. And one of these tools is a quality control or a project manager or a foreman, or somebody that knows their job is, and they're the one that's going to get their ass chewed if it's not right. I have one guy, Mike. I told Mike, if you get to the job, you've all of a sudden became responsible for that job.
Yep.
You've been here the longest. You know the longest. I trust you. You know what's right and wrong. I don't care if these guys been here for 3 weeks. You now the boss. You want to be the boss? This is part of boss stuff.
Yeah.
And so you better, when you leave, you better know it's right.
Yeah.
And giving him that after, obviously you can tell somebody that once and it doesn't, it takes time to train these people and do the right thing. But that's what I've seen, is they don't have the bandwidth to do that. They have too much going on.
They're pulled in too many directions, too many things, right? Then you need to empower somebody on your team that's going to put the quality into that.
Today,
right?
John, this is your responsibility.
Yep.
Before you leave, we need to make sure all this stuff is right.
Yes.
I need to know. I need to be able to tell her we will be done Friday.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, we need that. So that's project management all the way around. And
and taking ownership of that. And it can't just be, well, I don't know, this is what Jerry told me to do. And, you know, and if you find something, taking ownership of that and then having a plan, right? Yeah. That's what frustrates me, because it might be, you might tell Mike, like, hey, Mike's like, hey, we got these 5 rooms we got to touch up, and, we got a problem over here, and this doesn't look, this wall doesn't look that great. And he might identify all those, and we're like, hey, we appreciate that, right? Yeah. So when are you going to do that? Right. And then we get well, I don't know, I got to call Jerry. And then it's like, okay, well, but great, I'm glad that you found all these problems. You're doing what we've asked you to do, but when's it going to get fixed? Because obviously we have to answer to the schedule. And so it leads me into my third biggest gripe to that is just realizing the big picture. The big picture that I feel subcontractors do not take into account that the GC has to do.
There's no button.
Just push the button. The big thing I see is not looking at the big picture of what we have to do. General contractors, we have to answer to the schedule, and we have to answer to the client. And not taking into account your part that leads to the bigger picture, and just thinking, this is my only piece and this is all I care about, and I'm not worried about the guy that's got to come next to me, right? Those 5 dings in the wall that I just found, whatever, right? Not putting that into the bigger picture of, well, yeah, but when are you going to come back to do that? Because the painter's there Monday. Yeah. So if you're not done Monday, I need to go tell the painter, because the painter can't start then on Monday, which means now the furniture can't get delivered Thursday, which means now the end date for the client has moved. And so for me, not thinking that is it is so infuriating, because ultimately I have to answer for that. And if I don't have the info from you as the subcontractor of what we're going to do and making a plan, then I have no answers to my client. My client's now going to ask me, well, look, it didn't look like, the drywall's not done. You told me it was going to be done. Yeah. What's the plan now? Right? And so we're left there going, right? And then it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, or it's like I don't know what's going on site. So this lack of accountability and being able to answer to that is just, it's so frustrating, right? It's a lack of communication. It's a lack of thinking of the bigger picture of who it's going to impact.
You're totally right. I mean, I don't know, no rebuttal for that, except you're dead on. These guys, I mean, all of us in general need to get it together. This is a $2 million project, not a $20,000, paint job. That's what it is, and they don't think about that.
Especially on bigger, complex projects, right? I mean, and even on smaller projects.
Those are the hardest, because that's quick, go,
you got to go fast, right?
Yeah, there's not a week in between. There's, days.
A day, a day. And let's say if you have to do, your 5 touch-ups, right? And now the painter's got half a day. Well, you know what? I'm going to go take this other job in between. I'll be back in a week and a half.
Yes.
So then now I've got a client who's extremely frustrated, because now not only did we not manage the punch, now we're not finishing on time, and now the whole job's derailed by 2 weeks, and now I'm going to get a bad review about how they missed Christmas in their house or something.
Number one, let me give another advice for subcontractors and a general contractor. If a sub ever says to you, if I don't start on the 20th, I can't come for 2 weeks, fire him on the spot.
Yeah.
because that's not how you act in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you must not be big enough to be able to maneuver. Is this your first construction job where you found that the schedules don't work out?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Yes.
This is not somebody you want to hire. If that is ever said to a general, they just got to go. See ya.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be able to pivot. And if you want to work with businesses, or do you want to work with one-man bands? What do you want? A's, B's, or C's?
Yeah.
You know, and go back to what we said, you know, not every general's an A.
Yeah. And not every sub's an A, right?
So there's those places for those guys.
It is. And it's a two-way street, to your point of communicating that, right? If it's not really 2 weeks, if we're having that conversation, we should be having the conversation on scheduling well before that.
Well, there's the other guy that I drive a lot. I'll put on 150, 200 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go to these sites a couple weeks before they're ready. Couple weeks. And I can tell from a life of being in construction if you're kind of going to be ready when you tell me you are.
Yeah.
So a week goes by, I call up and go, hey, I was out at Main Street. Looks like you guys still got the plumber in there. You got to get inspections. You know, what do you think? Oh, no, we're going to be ready. I can't tell you how many guys all year tell me they're going to be ready till they're blue in the face.
Yep.
And then that day comes and they're not.
Yeah.
And they'll still, like the day before, go, we're all going to be, or, couldn't call in the inspection.
Yeah.
Didn't get it.
Yep.
And it's like, bro, I was there a week ago. I'm
There's
not
no
even
way.
a plumber, and I know that you weren't going to be ready for us. Like, come on, let's get real. I'm not, and I think they do that because there's those other subs that will tell them piss off.
Yeah.
But I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it real so I can keep my guys busy and going, and I don't have to, struggle and send some. Because if you start doing that to me enough, I'm going to start telling you, I don't know if I can do that job.
Yeah.
Because I might not want to work for you anymore.
Correct, right?
Because you actually cost me money now, because the 2 guys that I had lined up to start your job tomorrow, I don't sit those guys home.
Yeah.
That's not fair. They came to work for 40 hours. I'm going to give them 40.
Yeah.
So now I have to spend their labor and send them to a job that was not budgeted for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you going to put them now?
To do the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually it's not even, other than having a job, it's not even worth dealing with you.
Yeah.
So, if you ever get an email or text from me, I don't know if I can do that job for you in 3 weeks, then that's probably why.
Probably why, because you can't nail the schedule down.
Yeah.
And I think in reverse, the more that you can communicate, and my team does this all the time. I do this all the time on projects that I run. It's always hey, we're on track. Or if as soon as I know it's not, hey, Jerry, no way. We're not making that schedule in 3 weeks. Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be 3 weeks. I'm working on an update. I'll get back to you. Right?
Yeah.
And so I try, as a general contractor, I always try to give my subs that respect of, hey, this is we're not ready for this, right? Hey, you know what? We're not going to make that. And in turn, though, I ask, to your point, on the other end, perfect example, I have this right now. Hey, we weren't ready for you here. We're going to button up all these things. Hold a spot for me in 3 weeks, because I'm going to make in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So when I call you and it's a couple days before, and now 3 weeks is now, next week, and it's Friday. Hey, you guys ready to go Monday? Oh, well, you told me anytime that week. No, I was counting on you to start Monday, right? So it's the same thing. It's the mutual respect of, hey, this is when we're going to be ready, and be ready, to your point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you come back and you say, hey, I'm not ready, and be upfront with that. I always think that that's the best way to do it. And I always make a point with, especially with subtrades too, where I feel like on the miracle that things are all going great and everything's awesome, right? And I always try to give the option of, hey, you know what? If you guys want to, you could get out there and you could start sooner if you want.
That's a lot of pressure.
I always try to, and never an expectation of like, hey, I know you guys were planning to start Monday. The plumber wrapped up early. If you guys want to start, you can start it on Thursday. If not, we'll see you Monday, right? I always try to give my subs that, because to your point, like, if there's an option of like, hey, we're going to be ready, you guys can come in sooner. I always like to do that and put it in your back pocket, because you might need to move guys because something else fell through. That other guy
could have did his normal thing.
Yeah. So I always tell other, GCs when we talk about that and scheduling and doing the scheduling, if you have the ability to, give the subs the option, right? Vice versa. You know what? Hey, it's not critical that you start Monday, right? It would be great, but Wednesday's the drop deadline, right? Give them a little bit of wiggle room to that, right? It's like, I try to hard press on the things that have to happen by a certain date, but on other ones, if we have some room to play, then like, hey, let's give you guys the option, because you're not answering to just me, right? You've got how many other people you're trying to appease and other jobs you're trying to do.
And that accountability, builder trend in these programs help out with that. Like, because then it's in your face. It's like emails and texts and like, oh, we got to start that job Wednesday.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, exactly.
But then I can turn it around. I go, hey, builder trend says we're going to be there Thursday.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah. Your schedule's either not right, or you're full of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I'm looking at on site doesn't look like anything that's on your schedule.
But more times, it's even with let's say the smaller general contractor, they're not calling the subtrade. They're not calling the plumber saying, hey, you're going to be ready for inspection on Wednesday because Wednesday we need rough across board and I got to do this. So Jerry can come here next Friday.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that enough to kind of keep a schedule.
Yeah, or even subtrades. I mean, shoot, we're talking about subtrades GC conflicts, right? And what that looks like. But I mean, even subtrade to subtrade, right?
Yeah, I ask them all the time. I go and talk to all the guys.
Yeah.
Hey, you going to be wrapped up so they can call in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll be done or something like that. I think Will called the flooring guy. Called the back of the guy's shirt and asked him.
Yeah.
Because it was like he kept getting all these things like, hey, I'm down here. When are you going to be done?
Yeah.
Can I tape to this floor or not?
Yeah.
He just went straight to the source because I was like, don't bother Janae. Let's just call this guy.
Yeah. Is this going to be okay?
Yeah. So it was, you got to sometimes do that because this is life. And sometimes you just do whatever.
It's looking out for your work that you've put in place and the others. We always, if we have a pull schedule meeting or if we have a trade, event or something else like that where we have everybody in, I always love for the sub-trades to talk to one another, especially because it's like sometimes you guys see each other, sometimes you don't, right? But it's good for everybody to at least have a rapport and know each other at some point because there's going to be a point where, maybe the electrician cut into your thing and screwed something up or vice versa. And so it's good to have that across the board, but also back to that team aspect of, hey, we're still all a team. We're all still trying to get the same end goal and you want to make money and I want to make money. So like, why can't we all just keep working together as a team versus this like silo effect I feel like sometimes happens on site where it's like, well, I don't know what that guy's doing. Fuck him. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to do my thing. And like, that's not fair either.
Yeah. Fire those guys.
Yeah.
All the money that we're making, these bids and things and all these there's a lot of subcontractors that have 3 guys that think they should be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And so they don't hire all that money you're making. You might need to now hire a project manager or somebody else, and then that will lead to your pocketbook. Mm-hmm. But they get this idea that I'm a contractor. I need to make $200,000 a year as a drywall contractor, and I have 3 guys. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. Sorry to tell you, like, you got to get real with what money is. Like, how many people make $150,000 a year? Not a lot in reality.
Yeah.
So you didn't go to school and get an education. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. And you want to make $200,000 a year and you only have 3 people working for you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. And then they start making some money and they spend it instead of reinvesting it into the building of the business because that's what it is. You're building something.
Yeah.
So that in turn, they want to know why they're not A players and why they're not working with certain stuff. Well, you didn't put in the infrastructure. You don't have the infrastructure to play ball in this court.
Yeah.
You're just not good enough, man.
Yeah.
You might be good at your trade, but you fail at everything else.
Yeah. You're not a good communicator. You're not a good scheduler.
Yeah. Whether it's putting time in building your business, whether it's the team, it might be physical appearance. It might be you got to shave and brush your teeth before you come to this job walk.
Yeah.
I know some good tradesmen that I go to a job and go, what happened to you? Like, dude, take a shower.
Yeah.
Like, when you start building your physical, personal appearance and clean your truck and all these things, you start forming habits that success has.
Yeah.
It something might happen for you.
Yeah. It translates across the board.
It's not everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on in our world. And it's interesting to sit by and watch,
Yeah. I think that could definitely help across the board. Just from the top down, right? That's how your employees are going to get better too.
If you're sitting there in a room or you're at Home Depot or whatever and you see ABC Plumbing and you're XYZ Plumbing and this guy's got a nice crisp haircut and, a clean pair of shoes, and it's not about money. It's $15 to get a haircut.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like your boots are $200. Your Red Wings, you don't have to wear those. You could buy a $50 pair of nice you can look presentable effortlessly. It doesn't take that much, but it's really interesting,
Yeah.
you know, and then they wonder why they're not being taken seriously or something like that, because the first thing we see is you come up looking, so now we're already blocked a certain way.
Yeah.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
So you've got to figure out how to be a good human person and fit in with society. If you don't do that, then you're just fighting everything.
Yeah, you're not presenting yourself well.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle at that point.
Totally is. Well, I think this has been such a good, maybe a little heated debate on, I think, all of the expectations for subcontractors, general contractors, relationships, what that looks like across the board.
Yeah.
How we do it better.
Should we do a whole nother hour? We keep going. Split it in two.
I know. I think we should open it up. I think we're gonna put it out there on social media. I think some Q&As. I think we're gonna some hot topics, some hot responses to this. So
opinions.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna put it out there. Maybe take some opinions on social media once this episode drops, and maybe we'll do a follow up with some debate from the team.
Yeah. Well, and if you notice, everything we talked about was never quality of work.
No.
We didn't mention that one time, I don't think.
QC,
QC,
right? QC.
yeah. But it was the act of doing the QC.
Correct.
It wasn't like I'm looking for the best this or
Correct.
it was everything else.
Yeah, you're automatically expecting you're going to be good at your trade.
Yeah.
That should be given number one, right?
Yeah, and
it's how we get there.
How do we get there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Across the board. All right, Jerry, we came to the end. Let's see who's more important here. Let's see, I'm 1 for 6. We figured out that our guests are more important than us so far. And I'm only important on certain days.
Yeah. Well, today's a Friday.
Today's a Friday. I'm winning this one. Holy cow.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, what you got?
5 emails, 2 missed calls, 10 text messages.
All right. 2 phone calls, 16 text messages,
oh, wow.
30 emails.
30?
Yeah.
The hell happened?
I am way more important today, or something is on fire.
These are all from Steve, so I'm down to 1.
Oh, sabotage. I got full sabotage here trying to take me down. I got 16, so something's on fire.
Yeah.
Something's on fire here. Well, next episode 8, we've got Ryan Kelly. We've got another guest coming on. Ryan Kelly is the owner of KHB. We're going to talk about scaling. We're going to talk about owning multiple divisions in his construction company. And I think it's going to be a great conversation.
Scaling. So it's a big word nowadays, so that'll be a good one.
I think so, too.
Looking forward to it.
I think that this episode has been great on just the discussion of GC, sub-relationships, communication.
Yeah, it was great.
Things.
I love to hear the feedback.
Me too. I liked the feedback. I liked the surprise element of it. But what I think is great about it and what I appreciated is those are things that I think that we've struggled even in our own business, right? And have made better, right? But again, it's through having that communication from you of like, hey, if I'm going to work from you, I need this, you know?
Yep.
And I think it's been the same way back and forth. And so I think it goes back to the overarching theme that we've talked about is it really comes down to that marriage and how is this going to be good, right? And do we want to keep this rolling?
Yet. We're not divorced. Not yet.
Not divorced. I know.
Well, that's it. Episode 7. That was great. Thank you. Episode 8, Ryan Kelly. So we're looking forward to that. And that's a wrap.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Send it.
Share it. Tag us.
Reviews.
Yes. Some reviews, subscribes.
But share it. That's the most important thing, guys. Share everything.
Oh, send it to your favorite subcontractor. Maybe you can start a conversation about how you guys are going to work together better.
I think they're waiting to beat me up outside.
Yeah, so, we'll just wait. I got the team out there. It's fine. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.